Hey guys, Richard here with eBike Reviews and Adventures. Today we're going to be taking a look at this monster cargo e-bike from Bike. It's called the Bike Lion. Yeah, this is one you don't want to miss. Let's get into the video. All right guys, I tell you what, I appreciate Bike for sending me the Bike Lion so we could test it and review it. We've been doing that for a while. This video was actually due a little while back, but we were waiting for one accessory to get back in stock so we could do a full review. We have that accessory now, so now we want to talk about it. Yeah, this is one cool e-bike. I tell you what, first thing you're going to notice right away is that it is just a very unique design. I mean, look at it. We got small 20-inch tire in the back, and we got a 26-inch tire in the front, which makes this kind of unique. And it is got a huge rack on the back. And you can put a lot of cargo back there. We'll talk about that here in a moment. Let's get into some specs. Before we do, I want you to know that this comes in several different versions. You can get them with a 500 watt motor with a 20 amp hour battery. You can get it with a 500 watt motor with a 20 amp battery plus a 10 amp battery for a total of 30 amps. You can get it in a 750 watt motor with a 20 amp battery, or you can get it in a 750 watt motor with a 20 amp and a 10 amp, which is what we have for you here today. So go check them out on the website. A lot of options there. So let's get into some more specs here. So as mentioned, this is 750 watt, okay? And it does have the integrated 20 amp hour battery there. And we do have this 10 amp hour battery right up here, which gives us a lot of capability, a lot of range. And you want a lot of battery power because this bike is capable of 440 pounds of capacity. So a big man could ride this bike, and you can still put a lot of stuff back here on the cargo area. And we mentioned the cargo area because this cargo area is a lot bigger than most e-bikes. It's a lot bigger than most cargo style e-bikes. It's a little wider and it's a lot longer, so it sure gives you a lot of room to do things with. Let's go ahead and jump up here into the front and take a closer look at some things up here. So we do have these hydraulic disc brakes right here with 180 millimeter disc, a 26 by 4 tire on the front that has got good knobbies on it, okay? And these are the Chow Yang right there. Moving up, we do have suspension forks right here that do have the adjustment for the lockout and preload. We have a headlight up here that works, it's integrated. We have this basket rack. Now this is just the rack that holds the basket. I like this style because you can still strap some things down to it without having to add an additional basket on there, but we'll talk about more of that in a moment. Moving around the side here, you can see that the down tube is real beefy, and they've got this extra support bar that goes down through here to give it extra strength. That's one of the reasons why it's capable of 440 pounds. Moving on down here, we do have the chain ring, which is hidden and all covered up with this chain cover. And I like that because it keeps your leg from getting greasy and keeps anything from getting caught in there. And it goes all the way back here. So really nice job there. And look at this. This is kind of unique. You have a tensioner right up underneath the frame right here to help keep that chain nice and tight. Right below that, you'll see that we do have the A-frame style kickstand that allows you to hold this bike upright when you have children up here or when you have a lot of cargo. You don't want the bike leaning over. Moving on back here, we do have these optional footboards. We'll talk more about those in a few moments. That's just one of the many configurations that you can get this bike in. And then, of course, we have the Chow Yang tires on the back, and this is the 20-inch tire. We do have plastic fenders, and we do have an integrated tail and brake light. Now, let's go up here and take a closer look at, we'll stop here and look at the saddle. This is a pretty standard saddle, nice and firm, like most of them are. And it's on a suspension seat post. So that's kind of cool that they give you that, so that adds just a little extra comfort. Now, moving on up here into the cockpit area, let's take a closer look up here. We have the faux leather wrapped handle grips right here that do have the palm rest. We do have integrated blinkers right here, so you have blinkers on the left, blinkers on the right, which is kind of cool. Button pad right here, which is kind of simple. Press in the middle to get this thing powered up. And then you have your up and down pass levels. And this does have 5 pedal assist levels. We have a horn right here, nice and loud. And let's go over here and take a look at the display. Everything you would expect, how much battery you have left, what the odometer is. your speed, pass level, and how many watts you're using at the time that you're using this thing. We do have a 7-speed Shimano shifter up here. It's the thumb style index shifter with a twist throttle right here to the right. Now moving back up to the front here, we'll take a look at the wiring. The wiring is a little bit of a mess, but it's partly wrapped. And so, yeah, not bad. I've seen much worse than that. All right, now before we go and do the riding portion of this video, let's go ahead and talk about the different configurations you can get this in. Because this can be used for hauling passengers. Okay, so you can attach a child seat to the rear and carry a smaller child or something, or you can put a larger child or even an adult back here. And something to know is this isn't really a seat cushion. It's a board that has just a little bit of foam something attached to it with this faux leather material over the top of it. So it is pretty hard. So just be aware of that. At this time, I don't believe they provide a regular seat cushion for this bike, but an adult or somebody can still ride on it for a little while without it really affecting your bum. Now, if you are going to put a smaller child on this, someone who's shorter, be aware that because this is so wide, if you have a smaller child with smaller legs, their legs are going to be kind of cutting into the side here as they dangle over the edge. And that's going to be kind of painful. So just be aware of that. I would suggest you get a pillow or something, maybe do something to kind of cushion the sides right there for those little legs. I do like that the frame back here is nice and beefy and robust. That again is part of what gives it its 440-pound capacity. And just be concerned or just be aware that small kids or small feet may still be able to get inside here and get to the spokes. So just be aware of that. Now, if you're hauling passengers, it'd be a great idea to have these footboards, and these footboards are pretty nice right here. Now, we made a modification to these footboards, and I want to show you that right here. That is, these footboards are designed so that they have this inner steel tube that is on the footboard, and it goes inside this inner side tube that's attached to the bike. You can see it right there. It's designed so you have only one screw back here on this side that goes in with a bolt, or excuse me, a bolt and a nut, and that's what holds these on. Well, something that Amanda and I did is we went ahead and removed that bolt and added this cotter pin to make it a little easier. See that? No tools necessary. And then from there, you can slide these right off. Now, one thing that we did, because we're using a cotter pin, it's not real tight, and because of that, this like to rattle around a little bit inside here because it's kind of a loose fit. See there, it kind of jiggles around. So we put tape on the end of these right here just to thicken it up a little bit. So when you put it in, okay, it gives something to kind of cushion it just a little bit, and it doesn't rattle so much. And, it tightens it up. And then all you got to do is take your cotter pin, stick it back in that hole, and push it back in there. If I can get it in there with one hand. I can't do it with one hand. We'll leave it out for the moment. Yeah, so just be aware of that. So it makes it easier to get these things on and off, so you don't have to bring out the tools to get them on and off. So we really like that change that we made ourselves. Okay, now optionally you can get this, what Yodabike calls a cargo fence, what other e-bike manufacturers refer to as a child fence. But this is a nice addition to this cargo e-bike right here because it allows you to carry some additional items. Maybe you want to help contain some cargo if you have some boxes or something you want to stick inside here. You still have to strap it down, but it just provides a little extra security. Now, other manufacturers refer to this as a child fence because it works great if you have smaller children. You can still set them down inside here. They're sitting on the seat, but they have this cage that goes around them that just offers a little more protection, maybe helps keep them from sliding off on either side. So yeah, just be aware of that this is something that is available to you. It does attach quite easily because again, Yodabike uses this style of connection that they use down here, only up here you have these big screws that go through the fence that goes inside this this insert right here that allows you to attach. And it's nice because you don't have to crawl around and kind of reach up underneath the seat to try to take things on and off. You don't have to take this off in order to be able to use this. Now, this next accessory is not offered by Yotobike, but it is available out on Amazon, and we purchased it and found it to be very useful, and that is this passenger handlebar right here. This particular one that we found has a quick release, so you can, just like your seat post clamp here, you can just take it on and off rather quickly, and it's pretty handy because now when you have a passenger back here, they have something to hold on to. They don't have to hold the bike frame or the seat or grab you around your waist or something. They have their own handlebar that is secured nice and tight that they can hold on to stable them as you're out buzzing around. All right, guys, in this next configuration, I just want to show you, we removed this seat or board. It's not really a seat. We'll just call it the board. It was easy to do. It's attached with 6 hex screw heads or Allen wrench type screw heads. And I like this because it was fairly easy to do because there's a lot of space between the underside of this rack part here and the fender. It was easy to get my hands in here and to be able to take those 6 out. So easier than most other cargo style e-bikes that I've had to work with. So just want to share that with you because Yotobike sent us this rack and we wanted to demonstrate that for you. So it's a nice big, basket. It's a nice big basket to use. You can put a lot of cargo inside there, and it has a lot of potential for being such a large monster style e-bike. It's nice to have a nice monster size basket. But we do have a problem with this basket, and that is there's no way to attach it. This particular basket isn't designed to work with this cargo bike. So if you look here, the holes on the frame of the bike don't line up with any holes on the basket, whether it be that way or you turn it around. If you line those holes up there, they're not even lined up there, but they're way off down here. There's no way to make that work. And we tried this in different configurations. You know, even on the back side back here, these holes just don't line up at all. There's no way for me to use this basket without modifying something. You know, if we had a strip of metal or something, we could put on the underside of the frame and screw it here and then screw it here, and it kind of pinches right here. But even that, it's only being pinched in one part of the bike frame, and so I don't know how stable that would be. Yeah, this is just a misstep because this particular basket isn't made for this bike. It's just an aftermarket basket. I've seen this basket before. I've had it before on other bikes, and it just doesn't match this particular bike at all. So I'm going to have to figure something out here in order to use it. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do just yet, but just be aware of that. Okay, the next configuration with this e-bike is that the front basket can attach, and it's a nice front basket. It's nice and wide. Kind of goes with the aesthetics of it being a larger style bike. I like that it is really wide, and you know, it's got that wood insert in there that makes it really nice, and it just sits on top of that rack I mentioned earlier. So it's really a nice addition because you can put a lot of things in there and then strap it down. Makes it pretty convenient. Now, I don't have baskets on my bikes too often, so I don't know that I'm going to leave that there, even though I think it does look pretty good. I do wish that the rear basket would match. You know, if there was a basket that would attach to the back, I'd prefer that it matched and had a wood insert, so it had a more consistent look. But I'm not going to be using this front basket, so it doesn't matter. If I find a way to attach that rear basket and make it work, then that's all I'm going to be using for this bike. So for now, we're just going to take that basket off and just leave it like that. And now would be a good time to go ahead and mention that that front basket does match the footboards, okay? So it is the same style wood, so you do have some consistency there. And then lastly, if you're not going to be hauling passengers and if you're not going to be hauling cargo, then my goodness, you can still use this as just an everyday rider, especially if you're a big person. You know, if you're a heavy guy or a woman or something, this might be the bike for you because it's got some good pep to it. It's got some good speed. We'll demonstrate that in the riding video. But overall, it's just a very sturdy bike. So let's get into it. Let's go take this thing for a ride. Okay, guys, one last modification I want to show you that we made ourselves, and that is to the kickstands down here. I already showed you the A-frame kickstand that comes with the bike, and that's important to be able to hold the bike perfectly straight upright when you've got children or cargo because you don't want it leaning. But optionally, I strongly suggest you also get a regular kickstand and attach it because it's so much more convenient when you simply want to just move this bike around. You don't have kids or cargo on it, and you need to shuffle it around in your garage or do something with the bike, because I will tell you, getting it on and off that kickstand is kind of hard, especially when you have a bunch of weight on there. We experienced that recently when we were traveling around with a Franken-trike all in the back of a tub that was attached to the back, and it was about 80 pounds, and it was really hard getting it on and off that kickstand. So just be aware of that, but that optional kickstand is really nice to have. All right, guys, before we get going, I want to show you, I am 240 pounds and I'm 6'1", and this is what I look like standing next to the bike. This seat post is adjustable by quite a distance, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But for me, it is a fairly easy step through and to be able to get on and mount. Something like that. All right, and over here we have Amanda, who is 118 and she is 5'5", and you can see what she looks like standing next to the bike. Easy on. And she hops up there just fine. She can still reach the ground. This is the seat in its lowest position. All right, guys, we're going to take the Yoda Lion out for a ride. Now, because I'm a taller person, I do have to lean over a little bit on this bike. So putting an extension on the handlebars here is something I am considering, so that I can raise those up a little bit. Give myself a little more of a upright riding position. But it's already a big bike, and so when you do that, it's just going to make it look even more monstrous. Hello. All right, so let's go ahead and do some testing here. We're just going to go ahead and zip back down. Let's see, let's go out to our little country road here. One of the things that I mentioned in some of my earlier videos is that this thing, it rides kind of funny compared to a standard bike or a regular e-bike, just because of the really large tire in the front and the smaller tire in the back, plus it's just a heavier bike. So just be aware of that. I did reach out to the company, and they did say that because it was designed to carry so much weight, and the design of the bike, it's going to feel a little off balance when it's when you're riding it without any extra cargo or anything. So it kind of makes sense. Now, we did load this up with some cargo recently, Amanda and I, and it's top heavy, especially me being a big guy. It was really top heavy, so it's kind of hard to handle a little bit, but it's something that can be done. You just got to get used to it. If you're thinking about something like this and you got kids and you want to put a couple of kids back there, yeah, it can be done. It's just going to feel a little strange to begin with. It's just got to get used to that weight. But once you do, you can handle it just fine, I'm sure. Okay, so we're going to start off here in pedal assist 1. And pedal assist 1 is going to give you about 6 miles per hour, so nice and slow and easy. If you got a lot of cargo or children on there, then you can go at a nice slow pace. Hello, friends. All right, so we're going to put it up in pedal assist 2. So pedaling only here. Let's see what we get out of pedal assist 2. Looks like we're going to get about 12 miles an hour in pedal assist 2, so not bad. Nice little pace here. We're just kind of leisurely cruising around. Bump it up in pedal assist 3. I like this particular cadence sensor because it kind of revs up slowly. It doesn't rocket you up there to the top speed right away. It's just a nice slow pace, which is exactly what you want when you've got kids on the back or some cargo. So here we are. Pedal assist 3 is about 17.5 miles an hour. So again, not bad there. Now I am already in 7th gear, so just be aware of that because you do have that 14/28 gear set on here. And that's unfortunate, but at pedal assist 3, 17 miles an hour, just a little ghost pedaling there for me. You might be able to pedal faster and do just fine. And we're going to go ahead and turn around here before we run out of road, before we jump up in the pedal assist 4. So let's go around here, get back up to speed. So pedal assist 4, we're going to go ahead and hit that. Now you've got a little more pep to it. And I noticed that pedal assist 4 and 5, you got a little more juice, a little more aggressive. Now I can't pedal at this speed, so it's all ghost pedaling. So Pedal Assist 4 is going to give you about 23.5 miles an hour. And we're going to jump up to Pedal Assist 5. So Pedal Assist 5 is going to give us, as it ramps up here, we're going faster, going faster. Avoid these birds up here. We're at 26, 27. Go back to this side. There's 28.5, there's 29. So yeah, we hit about 28.5, and then it kind of starts to regulate there. There's 29, 29.5. Kind of bouncing around there a little bit. So just be aware of that. But yeah, so that's Pedal Assist 5. Again, only ghost pedaling. You know, zero pedal resistance there. Let's go ahead and try the brakes. So we're going to hit the brakes kind of hard. So I didn't apply the brakes as hard as I could because I never like to lock up the brakes completely. But we came to a pretty quick stop there. So that was a nice controlled stop. So that was working out good. Let's do this. Let's go throttle only now. So we just left it in Pedal Assist 5. So we're throttling up. There's already 22, 24, 26, 27. There's 29. There's 30. And it regulates at 30. The motor wants to give you more, but it cuts out. When it hits that 30, 30.5, it kind of throttles you back a little bit. And we're going to slow down here because our friends up there are crossing the road and we don't want to disturb them. So we're going to go ahead and turn around here. So yeah, pretty quick bike. You know, it's definitely got some speed. Here's the thing. You know, and I mentioned this in another video recently. If a bike is made to go 28 miles an hour or a little faster, it really needs to have an 11 by 28 or an 11 by 32 gear set. And that's going to eliminate that ghost pedaling. It's going to allow you to go at pretty much top speed and have a nice comfortable pedal. And bikes that are designed to only go 20 miles an hour, you know, that should be where your 14 by 28 gear set comes into play. But let's go this way. I'm going to stick around here in the neighborhood now. Just kind of cruising around. It's a pretty comfortable bike once you get used to that balance. And I really love the speed. I really like the speed of this bike because it just gets up to power real quick, nice and strong. When we had our 80 pounds of cargo on the back, riding it around, it was doing real well. There's a video on that. So if you go look for that video, you'll see that. But yeah, it just, I don't know. The only thing was that was my first time riding it with that 80 pounds on there. So, you know, I was a little off balance and I was a little squirrely to begin with. But after riding it for a little bit, you know, you kind of get used to it. So who's this bike for? You know, who should buy this bike? First of all, if you're a bigger person and you're having a hard time finding a bike that you're comfortable on and that, you know, can handle your body weight, you know, this might be for you for sure. If you're, you know, a petite mom and you've got children and you want to buzz around with your kids, well, this is a lot of bike, and yeah, you can handle it. You saw Amanda jump on the bike here at 5'5", at 118 pounds, and she can handle this bike just fine. She's been out riding it, but it gives you that extra space in the back to be able to haul, you know, easily two children. You could probably put two adults back there as well. It might be a little tight, but it can be done. So I think it's great for that. It's great for going grocery shopping, you know. If you find a way to either put on some saddlebags or, you know, find a nice, safe way to attach that rack. And I will tell you this, I should have mentioned this earlier, but you can attach that rack to this bike and do it safely so you can haul cargo if you use some heavy-duty zip ties. I found zip ties that were rated at 75 pounds, and you can get zip ties that are even bigger than that. But at 75 pounds each, you know, you put 4 of them on there, then, you know, 300 pounds worth of strength, You're not going to be putting 300 pounds worth of cargo back there. If so, then you're going to need to be using cargo straps and other things. But just to be able to, attach that basket so you can put some groceries back there and other small items, it can be done by just using zip ties. Because like I said, that's how I had to do it on a different bike that I used for a long time. Because the rack that I purchased aftermarket did not attach well. But it works perfectly fine, so there's a solution for you. So let's see here. What else can I tell you about this bike? We talked about the speed and the pedal assist settings, and we talked about the brakes already, and that it rides real well. So let's see. I don't know if there's really much else that I can share with you other than some of the favorite things that I like and a couple of things I don't like about this bike. All right, let's just go back around it one time real quick here. Favorites: huge capacity, versatile. You can use it many different ways. Love the speed, love the power. It gets up to speed very comfortably, controllably. Not too fast, but it gets up to speed. And once you're at speed, boy, this bike really cruises and hums along. Motor's not too loud or anything, so it's not annoying. I like the overall design and aesthetics. Love the fact that it has a guard around the chain ring and also the chain. Really like the fact that it's a twist throttle. Yeah, just several things here. Good power. Several things here that I really like about this. I love the fact that they give it to you in a couple of different configurations. 500 watt, 750 watt, 1 or 2 batteries. Really like the fact that I got the version with 2 batteries and 750, because powerhouse right here. This is a monster e-bike in long range. We can go a long distance on this thing right here. A couple things that could be done a little bit better. Better gear set so that you can pedal at those top speeds. The basket was a little disappointing. We waited a month because it was out of stock. They finally sent one. I was kind of hoping that they had designed and built their own basket, and I was kind of hoping it would attach using these same connection points here as the child or the cargo fence. I think that would be just awesome if they had done that, because then it'd make it a lot easier for you to change things around. You could put the fence on if you wanted to take it off. You could put the basket on, easily attach it without having to take this off first, monkey with screws that are on the underside. Yeah. Next thing, it's the footboards are really good, really sturdy, well made. An adult can stand on them, no problem. But there's no cargo seat, or excuse me, there's no passenger seat. You just have this pretty hard board that's got this leather wrap material around it. So Yotobike, I hope you come out with a seat that will go on this bike, because that would be absolutely amazing. Basket and seat is what this thing needs. I didn't show you the tail light earlier, but down there's the tail light. And I'll show you what those blinkers look like. They got the water flow style blinker, so it helps draw attention to it. But at any kind of distance, they're just harder to see. Now, I like that they gave you a bigger rear tail light, and I do like the fact that the blinkers are a little bigger inside that tail light, so it is easier to see. Because some bikes, they give you a dinky little light, and you can barely see it, 6 feet away from the bike. Certainly a car or something, 20, 30 yards behind you is not going to be able to see it. But not too bad for the blinkers here, so they did a good job with that. All right, let's see, what else here? Because it's a cargo bike, I like the fact that we do have a suspension. Some cargo bikes, they don't even give you a suspension. And why would they not do that if you're hauling cargo and children, right? So, yeah, guys, I tell you what, there's just a lot of things to like about this bike. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Reach out to Yotobike. Go out to the website, check it out. I think it's a good price for what you're getting here. This bike is priced anywhere from about $13.99 to $16.99, depending on what configuration you got, what accessories that you pick up while you're there. So consider that, because this is a lot of bike for that price, and I'm happy with it. And if you have any questions, drop them down below. If you're new here, subscribe. And if you like this video, please smash that like button so this video gets spread far and wide to more viewers. Hey, that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you in another one real soon.